Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are reviewing Ambulance, directed by Michael Bay and starring Yahya Abdul Mateen II, Jake Gyllenhaal and Eliza Gonzalez. Ambulance tells the fictional story of two brothers who rob a bank, and as it goes wrong, they find themselves hijacking an ambulance to get away. The only problem is there is an injured cop who is pursuing them in the back of that ambulance. Before we go any further though, could you be a dear and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It really does help me and the channel massively, and we thank you if you do. I have to come clean here and say that I am just not a fan of Michael Bay's work, like at all. I don't think he's a very good storyteller. I think he's a great demolitions expert, but I don't think he's a very good storyteller. I always feel like Michael Bay needs someone holding his hand upon one of his own sets. But nonetheless, I did the diligent thing here. I took a deep breath, I cleared my mind, and I gave him a chance. And I can say that Michael Bay has grown. A bit. Proud of you. The women in this movie are not here to be leered over. There are no close-up on backsides. No one's having to wear Daisy Dukes and be drenched in motor oil looking sexy. It just isn't in here anymore, and I'm really glad that he's finally got onto that. There is still a lot of lens flare in this movie, which you can expect from Michael Bay, but again, I felt like it was under better control. It wasn't quite so consistently and also not done anywhere near as badly. And there is also shaky cam, which is to be expected, but again, under better control. I'd even argue Michael Bay tried to be quite artsy with this one in several shots. There are these moments where it zooms in on someone's face and the music intensifies and like a piece of light will flash by their eyes as their plan goes wrong and they have to think on the spot. There's some lovely swooping drone shots through the movie that really nicely capture the action as well. All of this is a huge improvement for Michael Bay, in my opinion. My biggest issue, and it's a big issue, is the script and the dialogue. The story is piss weak and you're just not that arsed about it. It's clearly a script that's only meant to be like an hour and a half long. This isn't meant to be a blockbuster movie. It almost feels like it could have been a short, and yet somehow Michael Bay manages to make it last longer than 2 hours. It's a car chase for 2 hours. And while you're in that car chase, you have nothing but unlikable characters that are really shallow, and you just sit there questioning how and why did these really, really big A-lister actors get involved with this? Because personally, I would have read this script and thought, God, this is horrible. And yet Jake Gyllenhaal and Yahya Abdul Mateen all just sort of jumped aboard. It seems a little strange to me. It makes their performances not look that great, but I don't think it's actually their performances. I think it's the writing of the characters and the dialogue they are given. The characters are stupid. They do things that they really just shouldn't have. There's obvious fixes right in front of their eyes and they just don't do it because plot armor. They keep on trying to sell to you, this isn't a spoiler, but they keep on trying to sell to you that Jake Gyllenhaal and Yahya Abdul Mateen are brothers, and I don't know why, because they're clearly not, and it just pulls you out the movie when they keep on trying to sell that to you. Jake Gyllenhaal is sort of acting a little bit bipolar here. I think he gets away with it because he's a good actor. I think if a lesser actor had this role, I think it would have been one of the funniest roles of the year. This is genuinely a taster of one of his lines. He says something along the lines of, yeah, well, I didn't want genital herpes, but we have to work with what we've got. Weird flex, but okay. I just thought this was boring and bloated, and I feel like I might be the unpopular opinion there. There is stuff to like, sort of, if it's your cup of tea. For me, the action really is outstanding. I do have to give it praise there. But because the movie is 2 hours of one car chase that never ends and just heightens and heightens and heightens and heightens with more and more explosions, by the 13th car crash, I was done. I just wasn't impressed anymore. It was like, this is all this is gonna do until we get to the end credits, isn't it? We're just gonna blow cars up and crash into things and somehow we're going to try and find an ending to this misery of a story. I don't think it paints healthcare workers in the best light either. I don't want to be too harsh because I kind of got what they were trying to say. They were trying to suggest that, a healthcare worker can't afford to be emotionally attached to a patient because you go through so many in a lifetime. You'll just be miserable if you got attached to all of them, and, several of them didn't make it. So I got what they were trying to say, but they deliver it horribly. It just comes across as narcissistic, to be honest. As I was watching this movie, I genuinely had the thought that the best way to describe this movie is that it is the poor man's Speed. Tone is all over the place, the dialogue is all over the place, the performances are all over the place, the story's just dull as hell. It just feels like an excuse for Michael Bay to blow things up. But to his credit, he blows them up nicely. I'm gonna give Ambulance a 2 out of 10. You're probably thinking that's really harsh. There's some really big names attached to this. It's just overkill, and it offers absolutely nothing to you. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And please be sure to hit the comment section. Have you seen Ambulance? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comment section below. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.